When the weather gets warmer, it's hard to keep cool, especially when you work in an industry like construction that requires you to wear personal protective equipment while working outside in the heat. August can be a hot month, and wearing PPE when it's hot outside can be uncomfortable. When workers are uncomfortable, they're more tempted to remove their PPE just for a little bit to try to get some relief. The only problem is that hazards don't go away just because the worker is hot, and removing their PPE will increase the risk of injury. Although workers may be tempted to remove their PPE when they get hot, they can't work without it. OSHA requires that employers protect employees from workplace hazards that can cause injury or illness. And while engineered solutions and administrative work practices are effective to some degree, PPE is the last line of defense, essential to shield workers from on-the-job safety hazards, so it's vital for employers to provide and ensure its proper use. Some of the steps workers can take to remain cool while wearing PPE include taking breaks frequently for water and shade. These should be mandated and logged to ensure appropriate breaks are being taken. Choosing to wear clothes that are a lighter fabric and looser fit can help with air circulation. Moisture-wicking material is a great option in the heat. The color of the clothing can help too, with dark colors absorbing more heat from the sun, and a lighter colored wardrobe will keep workers cooler. When it comes to what employers are required to provide and pay for, you'll find the list includes items that protect from infectious agent exposure, respirators, and chemical-resistant gloves. What you won't find are items to protect solely from the weather, such as sunscreen, UV protective sunglasses, UV protective clothing, long-sleeve shirts, long pants, and hats. Here are a few tips on how to include summer-related protection in your safety program. Educate on sun protection, coach on its use. Mandating things like sunscreen as PPE would be difficult when you think in terms of monitoring the frequency of application, the strength of protection, alternate solution for those that can't use it. But ask anyone who has worked outdoors and has been diagnosed with a form of skin cancer, and they'll tell you they wish they had heeded the warnings about the dangers ahead of time so they could have been proactive in prevention. Toolbox talks are a great way to educate workers, and implementing a voluntary UV protection program will protect workers from the harmful effects of the sun. Coach people on their complacency of the risk. I never burn, or I just need to build up my base tan, or I'll be okay for today, and work towards building a proactive cancer combative culture, where it would be more awkward for someone to not wear sunscreen than to wear it. It's not just UV, it's the heat. It's not just construction workers who are affected by the sweltering heat. Summer temperatures also cause the temperature to soar inside where heat generating equipment is present. Heat stress can affect a number of professions, even if they've worked in similar conditions before. You'll often hear from those who have become acclimated to their work site. In 2014, 18 workers died from heat stroke or other heat-related causes. There are currently no specific OSHA standards for occupational heat exposure, but it's recommended that plans to prevent heat-related illnesses be established. Because they aren't governed, be aware that they are often hard to enforce, so it takes awareness, commitment, leadership, and a strong culture where people are looking out for one another and openly communicating the importance of heat stress. Some states, like California, have made it law to protect employees from heat illnesses by governing a heat illness prevention regulation. The 4 steps required in the regulation to prevent heat are: train all employees and supervisors about heat illness prevention, provide enough fresh water so that each employee can drink at least 1 quart per hour and encourage them to do so, provide access to shade and encourage employees to take cool down rest in the shade for at least 5 minutes, and develop and implement written procedures for complying with the California OSHA Heat Illness Prevention Standard.